Shalom, shalom. It's the brother Kazawan. I would like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach, Malak Yahweh Shai, and a strong shalom. The brothers and the sisters out here, they enduring, they're magnifying the name of the Lord, spreading His gospel, and giving all the honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? With that, we just going, hop straight into the video. Right? Going into, do you truly love your neighbor, or is he just talking? Because you got a lot of Israelites out here, they forget to love their neighbor. They forget to love their brothers. They forget to love their sister, right? And you wouldn't be keeping the commandments if you did that, man. You wouldn't actually love the Most High or keep the commandments if you don't love your neighbor, if you don't love them as yourself, right? Because you're not treating them how you would like to be treated, right? You got a lot of people, they just off like that, right? They don't, give back to their people. Right? They don't show any kindness, any compassion to their people, any love to their people, right? They just look at everybody else as niggas, right? Same with people in, that's how they look at other brothers in the truth and other sisters in the truth, right? They don't truly treat them as their family, and treat them as their self, right? So, in today's video, we're going into, do you truly love your neighbor, or are you just a fake Israelite, right? So let's get this quick precept real quick in Matthew, this 22nd chapter, all right? Matthew chapter 22. We're going to start at verse number 36. It says, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. It says, This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Right? Hey, people forget about that, man. People forget about, loving your neighbor as yourself, right? They think that they love the Most High, but you're not loving your neighbor, right? They so caught up on hating Esau. They so caught up on getting slaves. They so caught up on being a teacher. They so caught up on Esau kissing the boot and a bunch of other vanity, right? That they forget to love their neighbor as their self. And ultimately, you be forgetting to love the Most High. Right? He said, hang all the law and the prophets on those two commandments. Meaning the whole law, everything that you read from Exodus to Deuteronomy, that's what loving your neighbor is, right? Every commandment you see in there, that's how you love your neighbor, right? If you love your neighbor, you're not going to commit adultery with his wife. You're not going to lust on his wife, all right? You're not going to covet his house, his car, right? You're not going to just turn a blind eye to the poor when you know you got it. Right? You're not gonna go and do whatever to this sister and abuse and do whatever madness a man may do. Right? A sister, right? She not gonna go and steal from her her sister or her brother. Right? They're not gonna go and do these things because they're keeping the law. Right? They're loving their neighbor as they self. Right? If we kept the law, right, and loved each other as we loved ourselves and loved the Most High, right, our nation would be mighty, man. Right, like it was in time past, man. Our fathers used to love each other, man. Right, used to make sure they was never crossing each other back, man, stabbing each other in the back. Right, now you just got Jake out here, man. Right, he gonna stab you in the back for a damn $50, man. He gonna do whatever it take to get by on you, man. Right, and that's how all of our people is, man. That's why the nation is so jammed up, right, in the truth and out of the truth, because everybody is out for themselves and how they could benefit from a situation other than working together, right, and loving each other, right? Let's go to this quick precept in Galatians, right? Galatians chapter 5, and we're gonna start at verse number 14. It says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word. I mean, hey, this is how you complete the law. This is how you keep the law, right? It says, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, by loving your neighbor as yourself, right? That's how you keep the law, right? You don't keep the law just, oh, damn, I didn't eat no pork today, man. Oh, I didn't eat no shrimp, crab, and lobster today. I had my fringes on, right? But you was secretly stealing from this brother, right? You was wishing that you could have his car. You hoping something bad happens to him, man, right? Or you lended $20 from him and now you want damn $80 back. Right? That's off. Right? It says, but if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. Right? Because you got a lot of people biting and consuming each other in the truth right now. right? They're using and abusing each other, right? Paying for breakdowns, just going off, right? Not truly loving their brother or their sister, man, right? Everybody just being bite and devour, right? Trying to fill themselves up and not trying to help increase the nation, right? So we're going to get some examples of, it's going to be a pretty quick video, right? We're going to get some examples of brothers and sisters truly loving themselves out here in this. I mean, not loving themselves, right? But truly loving, their brother and their sister in the scriptures, right? Truly, exemplifying what it means to be an Israelite, right? Because that's what it truly means, is when you're keeping those two commandments, right? So let's go to the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 1, and verse number 25, right? This is 2 Samuel, chapter 1, and verse number 25. It says, "How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle? O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thine high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women." Right? So David, right, when Saul and Jonathan died, right? Hey, that hurt David, man. Right? He loved Saul, he loved Jonathan, even though Saul was trying to kill him, but he loved Jonathan. Hey, he said our love, right? Their love was passing the love of women. Right? Because hey, Jonathan was there for David. Right? Jonathan was there while Saul was trying to kill him. Right? And Saul is Jonathan's father. Right? He was trying to kill David, right? And Jonathan was looking out for him. Right? Getting him up out that jam. Right? Telling him what was going on inside. Right? Looking out for him. Right? Being a true brother unto him instead of, slaying him unjustly. Like his father was planning to do, man. Instead of going off. Right? He said, "I am distressed for thee, my brother." Right? And a lot of our people, we not distressed for our people, man. Right? We got to be more hurt to see the state that our people are in, man. When your brother is falling on hard times, hey, that should hurt you, man. Right? You want to see that brother get back up. Right? You want to see that brother prevail and magnify the name of the Lord and be in a good estate. Right? You don't want to see a brother, just lowly all the time, man. That should hurt you. It should make you distressed. Right? The same thing we see in our nation this way. Right? It says, "Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love was wonderful, passing the love of women." Right? So let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 19. Right? 1 Samuel, chapter 19. We're going to start at verse number 1. Right? Just to show you, just another account of of Jonathan's love for David. Right? And them loving each other as themselves, man. Right? Because same way Jonathan wouldn't have wanted to get killed unjustly, right? He looked out for David to make sure that he didn't get killed unjustly. Right? This is 1 Samuel 19 and 1. It says, "And Saul spake unto Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul, my father seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see, and that I will tell thee." Right? So what Jonathan did, right? He already knew that Saul and his servants was trying to kill David. So what he went and did was relay that message unto David, right? And told David to go and hide, right? Because if he didn't go and tell David, right, and he knew this, that would have been off, man. He would have had blood on his hands for not telling him, right, what was going on, right? When Saul was going to try to kill him, where they was going to try to kill him, that they already knew where he was at, right? And that would have been off, right? So he went over there, he told them, right? He was like, hey, hide, I'm going to stand by my father, right? I'm going to try to talk this thing out for you, right? We wouldn't see that a lot, right? When somebody, when somebody finna get into some trouble, right? Hey, Jake nowadays, he just going to let it happen, right? He going to look out his blindfolds and he's like, oh, that's my business. And that's how our people move, man. You got to move like this, right? That's how you love your neighbor, man. That's how you love your brother, right? Your problems are his problems, man. Right? You can't just be a friend, right, for your own benefit, right? You can read about that in Sirach, the 6th chapter, right? You got many different chapters, right? You got many different chapters showing you that, right? You don't want to just look at your brother as, as whatever, as just some kind of anybody or anything, right? Your brother is you. You got to look at your brother as Yahushua, right? You got to look at your brother as if he was the Lord, right? We're going to get an account on that too. right? This is First Samuel chapter 19 and verse number 4. It says, and Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he hath not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee word very good. For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine, and the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against the innocent blood to slay David without cause? Right? So he's talking to his father right now, right? He's trying to, hey, Pops, why would you even kill him? He's innocent. Why would you do this? Right? And then Saul, he changed his mind, but then, he went off again. He was still trying to kill him. All right, so let's get this quick precept I was talking about. You should look at your brother as Yahushua. All right? If we start to look at our brothers like Yahushua, right? Hey, that could change our perspective, and we could start to love our people as more than we do already, right? Because a lot of people, they start to look at their brother, right? They go back to those old ways, and they just looking at that brother with, strife, right? You looking like, hey, man, I don't really want to deal with this man right now. I don't really care too much what he got going on, right? So this is Matthew chapter 25. And we're going to start at verse number, we're going to just start at verse number 30. We're going to start at verse 37. It says, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. So every time you make an action, right, you doing it unto Yahushua, man. Right? You're not just doing it unto a random brother. Right? You're not just doing it into anybody. It's literally, you got to look at it as Yahushua. So if you offend a brother, you offending Yahushua, right? And that can get you sifted out the truth. That can get you knocked out of this thing, right? Just offending brothers, blaspheming, brothers, and lying on brothers, and, not trying to help brothers, and any other thing, right? You would be doing it unto Yahushua, right? So we got to get back to loving our neighbor, man. Get back to loving our brothers and our sisters as ourselves, right? Love them exactly how we say we love Yahushua, right? So let's get this account real quick in Philippians chapter 2. All right, this is Philippians chapter 2 and verse number 1. It says, if there be therefore any consolation in Hamashiach, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord and of one mind. Right, so we got to be, like-minded. We got to get on one accord with each other, right? It says, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, esteem each other better than themselves. Right? If we was to move like this as a nation, right, you know how much better we would be? Right? We'd be above every single nation, because these nations don't move like that. These nations are full of pride. These nations don't give a damn about each other, right? They got homeless white people everywhere. Right? They got homeless Arabians. They got homeless everything, man. Right? They don't care about each other the way, the nation of Israel does. They don't have the laws that we have for the poor, right? For the sick, right? For everybody, for sin, right? They don't have these things, right? But our law, right, it gives you the spirit of meekness, right? You're supposed to have the spirit of meekness. Now that we got Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? It says, but in lowliness of mind, let each other esteem others better than themselves. Right, so we are supposed to esteem other people better than ourselves, right? Our brothers, we got to look at, we got to look at him more important than what I got going on today. Or we got to look at our sister like, hey, I'm going to help her out because this is more important than me. Right, this is more important than me going to get my milkshake from damn Chick-fil-A. Or wherever you want to get your food from, right? That's more important, right? That brother that's crying out to you, damn, brother, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Right? Hey, that's more important than you going to get a damn quarter pounder from McDonald's. Or whatever the case may be. Or you just going to get, 20 minutes of shut-eye. Right? It says, Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Right? Looking on the things of others, meaning, right, you worried about everybody else. That's important. Right? Worrying about everybody else, right, to make sure everybody else straight. Right? Make sure everybody else good through the spirit, financially, physically, right? Helping other brothers, right? Yahweh Shai always did this, right? Yahweh Shai did this when he laid his life on the cross for us, right? He esteemed the benefits, right, that we would get from him laying his life on the cross, right? That's what he did for us, man. Right? Hey, a lot of us can't say we would do that, right? None of us would do that. Right? None of us would lay our life down on the line, on the cross, for our entire nation that still rebelled against him. Right? Hey, hey, these wicked Negroes, man, they gonna still rebel against me. I'm not laying my life down. Right? Give me all the power right now. Right? Yahweh Shai could have had all the power on earth right at that moment if he truly wanted to, if he went through his own lust and his own desires. Right? But he esteemed everybody else, better than him. Right? He put everybody else's problems before his. Right? He knew that if he didn't do that, right, hey, it'd be hell for our people, man. Right? It says, "Let this mind be in you, which also was in Hamashiach Yahushai." So this same mindset, right, when you read Philippians, the 2nd chapter, it goes into having meekness, right, and thinking about everybody else before you think about yourself, right? So it says this was Yahushai's mind. This was his mindset on a day-to-day basis, right? You could read about that account in Matthew the 4th chapter, Luke the 4th chapter. You got Matthew the 26th chapter, Matthew the 27th chapter, right? You got all these different chapters that show you the temptations of Yahweh Shai. Matthew the 16th chapter, right? Show you the temptations and show you how the Lord still put us before he put himself, right? He didn't give a damn about his lust, man. He didn't give a damn about none of that because he loved the nation of Israel. So he put his life on the line for the nation of Israel, right? So let's go to the book of Galatians real quick, chapter 6. We're going to start at verse number 1. This is, "Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted." Right? So what you want to do, right? If a brother is going through hard times, right, he's struggling with spirits, he's struggling with, anything, right? If he's being overtaken in a fault, right? You don't want to look at that brother and be like, "Wicked nigga, hey, you still dealing with that lust demon? You still dealing with that slothful demon, brother?" Right? Hey, man, you got to get it together, man. Right? No, you got to go about it in a right manner, in a spirit of meekness, right? Humble yourself, right? And help that brother overcome, right? If it's a spirit that you overcame, help that brother overcome it, right? Help him overcome the fault that he keeps falling short to, right? Help that brother get to the kingdom, right? Although you don't know if you're gonna get the kingdom, right? Right? Our goal is to help each other, strive for greatness, strive for perfection, and get the kingdom, right? So you got to help that brother, right? Don't just be looking down upon people, man. That's the problem with our people, right? They get to a certain point, they overcoming demons, right? They living a little bit well off, right? They get to looking down on their people, right? They forget who they were, right? They forget who they were when they were at that low estate, right? You can't forget that. You can read about that in Sirach, the 11th chapter and the 25th verse, right? In the day of prosperity, roughly paraphrasing, right? In a day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction, right? And in the day of affliction, right, there's a forgetfulness of prosperity. So people forget where they come from all the time, right? Don't forget about where you came from, right? And start to get on, brother, right? Get on brothers in a wicked manner, right? Love your neighbors, right? It says, "Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Hamashiach," right? Bear your brother's burden, bear your sister's burden, and fulfill the law, man, right? Truly show what it is to be an Israelite. Truly show what it is to be that's how you be a light unto your people. Because the nation of Islam, they're not loving their brothers as themselves. They still popping each other wives. They still smoking weed. These Muslims still killing each other. These Muslims still selling drugs, right? These Christians still selling drugs. These Christians still raping each other. These Christians still committed adultery. These Christians still going off and committing idolatry, man. They're not loving their brother or their sister as themselves, man, right? They're not bearing nobody's burdens, right? They're not caring for the poor. They're not going out on the highways and byways, right? They're not doing a damn thing for their people, man. They don't truly believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So if you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you're going to do these things, and you're going to magnify the name of the Lord by doing by loving your neighbor, right? So let's go to the book real quick of Matthew chapter 26, right? We're going to get a few more, right? Matthew chapter 26, right? We're going to start at, I believe, verse number 35, right? Because Yahushua, right? Hey, his brothers was bearing, he needed people to bear his burdens, man. Yahushua was going through it, man. He knew he was about to die. He knew he had to die on the cross, right? He knew how it was going to feel, right? He was sorrowful, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26, and verse number 36. All right, it says, Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. So if Yahushua needed somebody, right, what make you think you won't need somebody, man? Right, if he needed his brothers to love him as they self, right, what make you think you ain't gonna need it? Or what makes you think that it ain't important to do that for another brother or sister, right? Well, hey, Yahushua was sorrowful, it says, and very heavy, right? This is right before he was given up, right, taken up by the the Romans, right, by Pontius Pilate and them to be, unjustly killed, right? So Yahushua needed people around him, right? You're gonna need people around you, right? You gotta reach out, right? This is just talking to brothers and sisters, right? That out there, going through it, right? You're gonna need your brothers, you're gonna need your sisters, right? Whether you're in the congregation or not, you gotta reach out, right? To help overcome demons, to help overcome spirits and tribulation, right? It's hard to do it on your own, right? Then you give people the opportunity to love their neighbor. You give people the opportunity to keep the law, right? You would be keeping the law, right? Because you're being honest, right? You're confessing your faults, you're confessing what you're going through, right? And brothers gonna start praying for you. Brothers gonna start being there for you at all times, right? So we just got to get back to doing that, right? As a nation, right? We're gonna get some closing precepts, and then we're gonna get ready to close out, get up out of here, right? Let's go to the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse number 10. All right, this is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse number 10. It says, Night and day pray exceedingly, that we might see your face and might perfect that which is lacking in your faith. Right? So what we need to do, man, we need to pray. We need to fast. We need to get back to, trying to increase as much as possible. Increase in the areas that we lacking in, right? You don't want to just be increasing in wisdom, right? Lord, right, night and day, you just pray exceedingly, constantly. Don't pray about nothing else. Lord, help me understand Revelation 13 and 10. Right, give me the spirit to break that down, right? No, you want to pray exceedingly everything that's lacking in your faith, right? Right, we got to, Lord willing, we got to start praying for brothers and sisters more, right? We got to start fasting for them more, right? We got to start being more in the spirit of meekness, right? We got to start loving our neighbors more, right? We need to pray for that, right? That could be lacking in your faith, right? It's many different things that could be lacking in your faith, not just wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right, so we need to be praying for that so that we can increase in that. All right, let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 3, and verse number 19. All right, this is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 3, and verse number 19. It says, Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and did let none of his words fall to the ground. Right, so Samuel, right, he grew. He grew by the words of the Most High. Right, he grew by these words, right? This milk, right? He grew by every word, right? He let it help him increase in all aspects, right? He didn't let the words of the Most High just fall to the ground. He didn't let the Most High give him a message, right? Give him prophecy, right? And just fall to the ground and he ain't do nothing with it, man. He used it and he grew. He grew with the Most High and he got closer to the Most High, right? And now he has an everlasting name with in the scriptures, right? So, we can't be letting the words of the Most High fall to the ground, whether it's by a video, whether it's by, notes, or whether it's somebody, rebuking us, right? Don't let words fall to the ground, right? Don't even let the words that you say to yourself fall to the ground. You telling yourself, man, I gotta get this right. I gotta improve, man. I gotta fix this. I gotta get this spirit. Don't let those words fall to the ground so that you can grow, right? So that you can be planted like a tree, right? Because if you let the words fall to the ground, right, that tree is gonna get chopped down, right? You're gonna fall to the ground, right? You're gonna be rotten and wicked and nasty, right? So let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 3 and 10, right? You're gonna get chopped down if you let the words of the Most High fall to the ground, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3, and verse number 10. It says, and now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Therefore every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Right? So if you let the words of the Most High fall to the ground, you're not going to be able to bear any good fruit because you're not going to grow. Right? You're not going to grow if you let his words fall. Right? If you ignore his messages, right? If you ignore the signs, right? You're not going to bear any good fruit because you're not going to know what to do. Right? Because you're going to be moving on your own accord and according to your own lust. Right? He says you're going to get hewn down and cast into the fire. Right? You're going to get chopped down. You're going to end back in the world. And you're going to die in America, man. Right? But this is what we want to be like. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, and verse number 8. Right? You want to be like a tree that's planted by water, just constantly growing, constantly increasing in all aspects in this truth. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse number 8. It says, for he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh. But her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. Right? So when that year of drought come, right, when all hell breaking loose, right, all that fruit that you have, right, you could live off of that fruit. Right? So we need to always be yielding fruit. We need to always be increasing and letting the waters, right, flow unto us. The waters is the words of the Lord. Right? Ephesians 5 and 26. Right? You got John the 6th chapter, right, etc. Right? The waters is the words of the Lord. So let these things flow unto you and don't let his words fall to the ground. Right? But with that, Lord willing, brothers and sisters, have a mighty day through the Spirit. We would like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh. Shalom.